Hi, how are you today? Today we're going to talk about when we suffer. I wrote a poem a few years ago and it is entitled, I Cry Out for Help. Hear these words. I cry out for help, where are you, God? I pull my hair and shake my fists and ask why. I get down on my hands and knees asking for strength and guidance and courage. Then I sit in the silence of the early dawn, all alone, all by myself, praying for help and understanding, praying and praying. Can you hear me, Lord? Can you hear me? Are you there? Do you care? Where are you, Lord? I need you. Oh, how I need you. Have you ever felt like that? You probably have at one time or another. There is a name for this feeling. Lloyd John Ogilvie, in his book titled Ask Him Anything, calls it the night of suffering. It is a time of anguish when we cry out for help, and it can occur any time and any place, day or night. How do we go on when we are feeling so overwhelmed and we cry out to God, where are you, God? I remember on March 9th, my husband got in a very, very tragic car wreck. It was tragic to me. He lived, yay God, but it scared the tar out of me. I was in Oklahoma. I had just been there one day, and Colorado's cold. And I was with my middle son, and my husband calls me and he says, I'm just leaving work. It's 9 o'clock at night. It's Saturday. He works 7 days a week. He's tired. He hasn't eaten all day. And he says, I was walking towards the car and there was some ice, and I slipped and I fell back and hit my head really hard. I'm scared. I'm really scared because it's really hard for me to focus, and I'm really worried about what's going on. I said, Gary, call 911. They'll come and get you, take you to the hospital and check you out. He says, no, I'm going to go into the bathroom. I'm going to look at my eyes and see if everything's okay, and then I'm going to drive home. I said, Gary, whatever you do, do not get in the car. He went into the bathroom, he looked at his eyes, he didn't see anything. He got in his car and he's calling me and he says, I'm driving down I-70, east on I-70. That is a very, very, very steep incline. And he's going down that incline, and all of a sudden he passes out. He passed out just when, I guess, I lost him on the phone, because there's a period where I have no cell service when he's going down that road. And the next thing I knew, he's calling me and he says, I've been in a wreck. I said, Gary, where are you? And he says, I don't know. I said, Gary, get out of the car, find out where you are and let me know. I'll call the State Patrol. And so he told me where he was, and I hand my phone to my middle son, Nathan, and he starts talking to my husband, and he keeps saying, Gary, wake up, wake up. I'm scared. I don't know how bad it is. All I know, he's been in a car wreck. And I cry out to God, oh God, help me. And so I get the State Patrol number, and I'm talking on my son's phone, and I'm trying to tell him the location where he is. Well, they don't believe me because I'm calling from an Oklahoma phone number. And they, at one point, the State Patrol person, the dispatch person, says to me, who do I hear yelling in the background? I said, that's my middle son yelling at my husband to stay awake. I need someone to get there. 45 minutes later, the ambulance gets there, the State Patrol gets there, but they didn't believe me. And I'm just so scared. I'm shaking and I'm crying and I'm praying and I'm praying. And finally they get there and they're taking him to the hospital. I felt so helpless. I felt so hopeless. I didn't know what to do. Have you ever felt like that? You probably have. How do we continue when life gets so overwhelming? When life is so chaotic? Life is life. Charles Swindoll says that life is 10% and attitude is 90%. Now sometimes, I hate to tell you this, but I think life is 90% and attitude is 10%. But in reality, that's not true. Life really is 10%, and what we make of it is 90%. And I am sure you have felt this way. You don't know what to do, and you cry out to God, and you pull your hair, and you shake your fist, and you say, why? Well, we got a flight out of town the next morning, and I was at the hospital before 8 o'clock. I was tired, I was exhausted, and I was so thankful. I prayed and I hoped in the Lord, because the Lord is our strength. In Hebrews 11, we are told, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And in Philippians, we are told, the Lord is my strength. God gives us strength when we do not know what to do. Now, to tell you, my husband is better. He's not allowed to drive until April 12th. Then he has to go back to the neurologist and check to see if, get an EEG and check to see if his brain waves are okay, and then they'll give him permission to drive. But I know that you guys have experienced something like this out there. What's going on in your life? Maybe you have a terminal illness. Maybe you're having trouble with your spouse. Maybe one of your children is having really a hard time in their life, and you cry out to God, where are you, God? Help me, God, help me. Well, I'm here to tell you that God is there, that God will never fail us nor forsake us, that we can confidently say, the Lord is my helper. That's Hebrews 13. And Matthew 28 tells us, and lo, I am with you always till the close of age. So what do you need God to help you with? Right now, cast your cares on God. Say, God, I need you. Even though I don't feel that you're there, I need you. And I am hoping and praying that you'll just touch my heart right this minute. And fill me with your being, oh God, and give me that peace which passes all understanding. And you hold on to God, and you let God take over to give you the strength and the courage and the hope when you are crying out in the stillness of the night, when life is so overwhelming. We have to rely on God, because God is the one sure thing in our life to see us through. Even when it seems unfair, even when we ask why, even when it hurts, God is there. Amen.